So hello, ladies, and welcome to our summer solstice celebration. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about this because A, like I said, I absolutely love summer. And B, I've had the privilege of meeting Marlene these past couple of months and learning more about what she does and all the beautiful work she does. And I said, well, gosh, if summer solstice is a part of kind of one of the things that you really celebrate and create ceremonies around, like maybe we could do something fun for one woman and for all of our great women around the world because yeah, it's just a wonderful time of year. And I love learning new things and all the great things around solstice, because I know there's so many stories, there's so many different traditions and different energies that really affect us. And I know that I'm a different person in winter than I am in summer for sure. This is definitely my season. So yeah, I'm going to introduce Marlene and she's going to take it away. So Marlene Sadler is a transformational guide for midlife women navigating the great in between. Those moments after the roles of mother, caregiver, or achiever begin to fade and the question arises, what now? Through her integrative approach called Unschooling the Soul, Marlene helps women shed outdated identities and reconnect with their inner wisdom through storytelling, seasonal rituals, and intuitive tools like tarot and Enneagram. Her work is rooted in lived experience from a demanding government career and caregiving journey to spiritual awakening and creative rebirth. She now leads the Heroines Mystery School, a space where women remember who they are, reclaim their voice, and unfurl into the next chapter with purpose, pleasure, and power. Please welcome our guest speaker and webinar host, Marlene Sadler.
Thank you, Charla. And if you can give me shared access, I'll put up a presentation deck so that'll help guide the things that I'm sharing this
Have you
evening.
tried to hit the share? Because I thought I already had put it on there.
Share.
There we go.
Just a second here. Stop share. I would have thought, like if you were talking about with all of the things during the pandemic, this would have been one thing that I would have resolved by now. Okay, share. Hold on here. Small delay. There we go. Share. And put it on presentation mode. Continue to share. Okay. Can everybody see this presentation now?
It's not in presentation mode though. Go over and you'll see the third one under the image. There's one that looks like a little projector stand. I think that's what you use to start the slideshow. There's a pencil and then a magnifying glass, and then I think the third one is probably your presentation, maybe.
Sorry, I'm running into a bit of a glitch. Show
Maybe the use slideshow.
Maybe I just need to take it off of my old. Held out. Just bear with me, everybody. Stop share. Put over to my other screen. All right, let me try this again. See if I can.
What is that going on there?
Hold on. Hey, Charla. I'm I'm not sure. I'm stuck.
Can you email me your slide deck? I'll figure it out.
Okay.
And Anna Louise had asked how long the session is. It's about an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You sent it?
Just a sec here. It's choosing and send.
Okay. You start and I'll bring it up while you're talking.
It's saying use mail drop.
Ooh. Yeah, you can try it and I'll see if I can open it.
Oh, is this working now?
So right now we see your screensaver. That looks like it. So now go to the top slide, very top one, and then go to slideshow, top bar. There we go. That's it.
Okay, we're cooking with propane. Sorry for the Although I do like doing a lot of rituals, I'm still considered a techno peasant by my standards. So, so welcome. And I would like to start by asking if you've ever felt like you're just running on empty. You've got your to-do list, you've got everybody that you're taking care of, but at the end of the day, how much energy have you got left in the tank just for you? And maybe just a two thumbs up, hell yes, I can relate to this kind of experience. But like so many of us, we're just so busy and we have forgotten how to really be alive. And a lot of the women's work, we take on a lot of the mental energy that goes into our family systems and what we do at work. And so at the end, I just want to help introduce you to how things like summer solstice and the seasons are ways that we can have as a turning point that help us reclaim our vitality. Does that sound good? Mhm. This circle is for you if you feel like you've been holding it all together, but something's unraveling beneath the surface. You're craving time to pause and reconnect with what's real. You've forgotten how to rest, create, and receive. We're very good. Women are very good at giving. How are we with the receiving part? And then I want you want to feel more in tune with the rhythms of the earth and even your own life. And maybe in the chat, if you want to share, if you can identify with one, two, three, or even all four of these considerations. Yeah. So this is your invitation to reclaim summer as sacred. In this gathering, I'll guide you through three key truths that changed my life and might just shift yours too. Number one, you are powerful, even if you've forgotten how. You're worthy of joy, even when life feels heavy. You've got the weight of the world on your shoulders. And number three, you are not alone. You were never meant to be. No person's an island, and together we create an imaginary web, and it's very heart-centered. Along the way, I'll share some practical tools during this webinar, some seasonal rituals, and soulful reflections that can help you unfurl into the heroine that is going to be your next chapter, starting with the summer solstice. You'll walk away with simple ways to honor the season and create your own celebration, even if it's just you and a candle in your backyard or your balcony. You don't need to have more to-do lists. You need more meaning. This evening is about remembering, not adding. Remembering your joy, your rhythm, and how that connects with nature, and your inner compass. And doing it all along with other women who are getting it too. So later on, I'll share a simple do-it-yourself shopping list so that you can create your own summer solstice celebrations at home with just a few meaningful items. No pressure, just being present. And before you begin, I would like us to just maybe take a big collective deep breath, inhale, and then an exhale. So on the count of three, we'll get ready to take an inhale. 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to fill up our whole diaphragm and expand all the way, and then hold it for a second, and then just exhale. And maybe consider bringing the shoulders back and down, because when we get stressed, have you noticed our shoulders go up to our ears and get a little stiffness in the neck? So what I'm hoping to receive from this gathering tonight is your energy and a feeling. And I'm curious if you have any kind of hopings that you would like to be able to receive tonight, a feeling, some clarity, a sign. I invite you to write in the chat below any ideas, or if you'd like it be more private, if you have a pen and paper handy, just make a note to yourself about what it is that you would really like to be able to receive in the next hour or so. And this lets you become the heroine in action. And it's like a starting, claiming your intention. My turning point. I've walked through the fire, I've come undone, and I have found my way back to the light. And on the outside, I had done everything right. I had the career, that was caregiving, I was showing some strength for everybody else. But inside I was exhausted. And I also felt like I was like a duck, where above the water, I might have looked pretty spunky, but below the water, my feet were pedaling in a constant motion, treading water. And I was exhausted. I felt like I had wandered so far off my center that I wasn't really sure if I could even get back. It's almost like when you're not following the GPS. And then it says if when it's safe to make a sharp right-hand turn or a U-turn. And I just had lost that kind of inner compass. It was during a summer, much like what we're experiencing now, lush, golden, but I was quietly aching. And that's whenever I began to listen more deeply. I stopped pushing and I let the warmth of the sun and the rhythm of the earth and the whispers of that ancient wisdom guide me home. And I started making some small sacred choices. For example, like I walked barefoot on the grass. I started turning over a tarot card in the morning, and I would ask the tarot card, what is the energy that I need to fully embrace to get the most out of today? I would journal by candlelight, and I would doodle, and I would take online art classes on Saturday afternoons. And then I co-founded back in 2014 something called the First Wives Club. And it was for a group of ladies that we were finding ourselves all in a situation where we were leaving a marriage and we really didn't know what the future was going to be for us. We were scared. And then 2 years later, I co-founded a group called Ladies of the Light. And this was a group of ladies where we would celebrate various rituals like summer solstice. So these weren't big changes, but they were always ways of looking at things instead of doing. It was about doing less and being more present. That's why I offered this evening summer solstice to all of us. It's an offering. It's a warm, sacred container. It's a circle of support, a reminder that we don't do it alone and that we too can return to ourselves with grace, beauty, and joy. Does that sound good? Who doesn't need a little bit more grace and joy in their life? At the end of our time together, I'll be offering a bundle of sacred gifts to support you on your very own summer solstice awakening. So be sure to stay with us through to the end. Now, I like to create a safe container. And in order to do that, what I like to do is something in Celtic language, we talk about casting circle. And it's an invocation to the cardinal directions in a clockwise movement. In Celtic ways, in the old ways, they would talk about this being deosal. And I'd like to imagine that we're creating an ancient priestess temple as our safe containers. And so without further ado, I'll start with facing east. Now I'm going to stay on the camera, but if you feel that you would like to really experience it, feel free to turn in each of the directions. With the east, we begin in the east. It's the realm of new beginnings. So hail to the rising sun, source of light and clarity. We call to the winged ones, eagles and hawks, condors and vulture. Come, lift our vision, illuminate our path. May the powers of the East bless us with clear sight and courageous beginnings. We honor you, we welcome you, and we give thanks. And as an offering, I like to um, make an offering. And what I like to do is use cornmeal. I have some cornmeal with me, and I'm just going to be sprinkle some in this bowl. And when we're finished tonight, I'm going to actually go out and I will sprinkle it on my kitchen garden. And I'll do this with each one of our cardinal directions. We turn to the south, where the sun stands in full power. Hail to the lioness, the puma, the jaguar, and the leopard. Beings of fire and fierce passion come into this circle and kindle our creative spark. Helping spirits of the south bring vitality and healing to all who gather here. We honor you, we welcome you, and we give thanks. We now face the west, the place of dreams and deep waters. Hail to Anubis, guardian of the thresholds. Hail to the bear, the dream bringer. We call Quinyin, Mary, and the goddess of compassion. Wrap the circle in mercy and emotional truth. Guide us through the mysteries of transformation. We honor you. We welcome you. We give thanks. We turn to the north, home of wisdom and the ancestors. Hail to those who came before and those yet to come. White Buffalo Woman, we call on your guidance and grace. May the strength of the earth, the bones, and the sacred traditions hold us steady. We honor you. We welcome you. Thank you. We lift our gaze to the sky. Hail to the star beings, the thunderers, the spirit allies and the cosmic guides, Thoth, Maat, and the intelligent ones who whisper truth. Open the channels between heaven and earth. Help us walk in balance and in wonder. We welcome you and we give you thanks. And then we look to the earth and we bow to Mother Earth, to the soul beneath our feet, the rivers that nourish us, the creatures that live and move and breathe around us. We each join the circle from a different place, from across Canada and the United States, from lands on Turtle Island, held in trust by many Indigenous nations. We take a quiet moment to acknowledge the original stewards of this land where we now live and gather. From where I speak, it's in the unceded territory of the Algonquin Anishinaabe people. I offer deep respect to their elders, past, present, and emerging. We honor the sacred relationship between the land, water, spirit, and community. Mother Earth, Great Mother, thank you for our lives, our bodies, our senses, our breath. Help us walk gently. Guide us to remember that we belong. May this ceremony ripple healing through the soil, the water, and the hearts of all of our relatives. And then we come inside. We place a hand on our heart. And if you'd like to do so as well, hail to the center, the place of stillness and remembering. Here we unite with the great mystery within us, around us, and beyond. May we be guided by beauty, trust, and the wisdom that whispers from within. And so it is. We talk about summer solstice. I also use the word litha because I follow the Celtic wheel of the year. And we can ask, well, what is summer solstice really? And summer solstice marks that longest day of the year. It's a time of peak light, ripe potential, sacred action, and it's a powerful release. I also think it's a portal to step into the radiant clarity and to unfurl. In the chat, maybe if you can share with us any opportunities that you've experienced in the summer. Is there a particular summer that comes to mind? A time where you felt such clarity, bright potential? Nice. Another consideration is in the cycle of life, we talk about the triple goddess. So we hear about there's a maiden, the mother, and the grandmother. And sometimes instead of saying grandmother, we say crone. And I appreciate that the crone isn't, well received in our society. So grandmother is fine. It also ties into when we're talking about summer solstice. And how we do that is we think of maiden was in the springtime. Maiden is like a young girl, a girl who hasn't had menstruation yet. And she is associated with springtime. That was a time where we have fresh green grass, violets, garlic mustard, fiddleheads, dandelions, and these are watery greens that in the old days and in some traditions even so now, we would eat these to flush out the heavy foods that we've eaten over the winter time. And now we've moved into another time, and it's the time of mother, summer. And she's associated with fresh fruit of the vine. Sometimes the greenery dies back. If you're growing tomatoes, sometimes the greenery can kind of die. But it's really because the plant is putting so much energy into producing its fruit. And maybe that's how we often feel when we're in that stage of our life, when we are mothers and we're working full time and we're trying to do all of the different things that keep keep our families and our communities humming. But then we move into autumn, and in autumn and winter is that time of the grandmother wisdom. And this is the time of harvest and storing for the long, dark seasons ahead. So during this ceremony, we're really focusing on the mother aspects of all of us, whether we are still in active mothering or whether we're in a different stage. It's that aspect that is about fully bearing fruit. The next thing that's so fun about summer solstice is to be able to have a seasonal altar and to be bringing in, inviting our allies and our guides to support us and to interact with us during this period of time. Behind me, I've set up a bit of an altar, and I like to have crystals. And at this time of the year, it's often things that are green. So if you have jade or emeralds or any stones that are of green, that's wonderful. Herbs. In Celtic times, they talk about a stinging nettle. Stinging nettles, if you've ever touched one, you know that you don't like to handle it with bare skin. However, it's also a really great green in stir fry because when you stir fry it, the little needles that do that stinging actually reduce, they eliminate their power, and they're very watery. A tarot card. The Empress is the number 3 in the tarot deck, and it's a lovely uh, addition to any altar. If you're into runes, the Sowello, it's the number 16 in the runes, is a great uh, symbol of summer solstice, and the letter S in the alphabet. Tree, the mighty oak. If anybody follows the tree alphabet, that would be number 7. Animals, there's butterflies and a robin, a stag, the male deer, and the phoenix. Flowers, depending on what region you're coming from, whatever is coming into flower at right now and into the month of July, black-eyed Susans, pink rose of Sharon, which is part of the hibiscus family, echinacea, peonies, poppies, even irises, are many of the ones that would be lovely on your altar. Fruit. In our area, strawberry season has just started, and so strawberries are a really juicy way of being able to honor the season. And then tea. If you enjoy tea, and I always have a cup of tea with me, a summer harmony of cooling herbs is wonderful. So 2 parts peppermint, 2 parts hibiscus flower, uh, 1 part elderflower, 1 part lemon balm, putting this into a pot of warm water, steeping it for about 7 minutes, and then sipping on that, whether it's warm or if you would like to have that with some ice cubes and has it as a cooling drink. It's really lovely. Uh, this recipe that I was just sharing, I like it from a book called Healing Herbal Teas from Bridget Mars from Colorado. Oh, summer solstice is has so many different regional traditions. So depending on where you're coming from and where you've lived in the world, you may be celebrating it in different ways. The first distinction is between the northern and some and the northern and the southern hemisphere. In the northern hemisphere, we're talking about summer solstice now. If we were in the southern hemisphere at this time, we're actually going into winter solstice. And so if we I'm going to mostly focus on the northern hemisphere. However, if you're going into a practice, you can be mindful of that. So, for example, if you are practicing in South America, you may want to align with more of the traditional rituals that they have. In Austria, for example, there's a procession of ships that go down the Danube River. Uh, and in South America, when they do celebrate in December, they make little paper boats and they put candles in it and they send them into the water, sending wishes to the gods. In Scandinavia, they talk about midsummer and they welcome with flower crowns and bonfires and dancing around the maypole. And in Mexico, the ancient solstice rituals align with the sun's light, striking the temples of the Maya and the Aztec. In Egypt, the sun rises over the Nile, and that signals a new year and the goddess Isis's blessing for fertility. In Australia, the Aboriginal communities mark the solstice with fire ceremonies, and they have stories of dream time. And then where my ancestors come from is more in England and Celtic times. And so we talk about the Oak King. The Oak King and the Holly King, they do battle. And they do battle at the midsummer and the midwinter. And so right now is whenever the Oak King is coming into power. The solstice reminds us that we're all part of the global web of seasonal consciousness. So turning to these with and the earth through the different directions are all different ways that we can really make the seasons being part of our daily experience and get out of doing and just notice. Notice the symbols and the signs of the universe that happen at this time of the year in particular. So frequently asked questions. So, well, what is Litha? What is summer solstice? And when we talk about the Celtic wheel of the year, it's now turning into Litha. And summer solstice marks that astronomical turning point, which is the beginning of summer. It's the longest day of the year, and it's that final thrust before the gradual drift into the long exhale. That's the dark half of our year. I know Charlotte was talking about that we're just beginning summer, so it's not like I should be really talking too much about we what happens after summer solstice, but it is part of our natural cycle. So I want to just embrace that. Does a solstice always occur on that same day? No, as a matter of fact, because we celebrate mostly the Gregorian calendar, it depends on where the sun reaches its most northern point in the celestial equator. So for us, it happens between June 20th and 22nd. And this year, it's actually going to be on Friday, so on June 20th. In Litha, it'll be the first day of summer. Yes or no? Sorry. Um, it can be yes and no. So technically, it depends on whether we're talking about the meteorological or the astronomical start of a season. So most meteorologists, they divide the year into the four seasons, and that's on the months and the temperature cycles in order to compare climate data. But astronomically, the first day would actually be, we're going to be coming into it now. So it's whenever the sun is reaching its highest point. But that's different than when we talk about midsummer. Midsummer Day is June 24th. And what I like to think about is fun facts about that. So, for example, for any of us that studied Shakespeare, and Shakespeare was very familiar with the midsummer. And of course, we talk at midsummer when we're in England because of where we are with the um, winds and the ocean currents and how that impacts on weather. But here it seems strange to be calling it midsummer because we're just really beginning summer. So, but at this time, let's just say that in Celtic times, the Oak King is at his zenith of power now. So, why would most women be stuck in all the busyness and all of the things that make us so tired? And if we could identify one thing, would you agree with me that it's about busyness? We've got a to-do list. There's not enough time in a day to accomplish everything that is set out for us. I'm the queen of my to-do list. But what happens is by embracing these different rituals, it helps me slow down and enjoy the moment. Because the truth is, most women aren't broken. We're just exhausted. We tend to take on more of that mental load. It's the unpaid work. Our culture celebrates doing over being, and it tells us to hustle and hide our pain and stay busy. But I believe our soul speaks through stillness and ritual and energy and story. I've been there and I've done that. I had 60 months of marital unraveling back in 2014. And before that, I had to overcome cancer. I've had parental caregiving, and I've had a busy career where I was dedicated to my my role, and I had overtime and I had promotions and all kinds of different things. But what that did is it left me kind of spiritually empty. So here's what changed. I unfurled and I followed my own rhythm. I got in touch with my rhythm by being in touch with nature's ebbs and flows. And now I help share that with women so that we can all do the same and together. Oh, sound familiar? These are the thoughts running through my head whenever I'm so busy that I can't get grounded. And so often the little voice in my head would be saying, I have to hurry. I'm running out of time. I'm just staying up a little later. I can cross more things off my list if I just stay up a little later. I should be doing something productive. Rest is earned, not given. If I don't do it, well, no one will. How will anything get done right? I need to fix this one last thing before I put my head down on a pillow. Oh, I'm falling behind. What I'd give just to have time stand still for one more hour. I can't let anyone see that I'm struggling. Stillness is selfish when there's so much that has to get done. There's no time to waste. I'll relax once everything's finished. Have you ever noticed that it's never finished? It's almost like cleaning the house. It's good for that one moment, and then all of a sudden, fingerprints, dirty dishes, things happen. But such is life. Maybe if you could add to this list and share in the chat below, what would be the kind of expressions or thoughts that you think, even if it's just in your own head, that lead you to the level of busyness? Alchemy results from combining elements. Not that I'm a great scientist, and I wish I kind of learned some of these things when I was in high school taking science. I might have paid attention. But in things like Kabbalah, they they talk about the four elements. There's fire, wind, water, and earth. In I Ching, there's five elements, those four plus metal. And so at summer solstice, we're finding that power of fire, which is our inner sacred masculine, and our water, which is our inner sacred feminine. And we all have both. It's not, this isn't specific to uh, gender or that kind of thing. It's that inside of us, we have these two things. Now, what I like to do is if I'm in a group outdoor activity, and if you're going to be with a group maybe this upcoming weekend, it's kind of gathering around, say, a campfire or a fire table, something like that. And that would bring the masculine energy into play. And then singing little songs from childhood to express emotion. If you played with skipping ropes as a child, and all of these different sing-songs that we had around campfires. This would be the way of bringing in the feminine energy. And then afterwards, it would be having maybe a potluck where there's food and maybe iced herbal tea. And these are ways of being able to celebrate what's in season. If we're a solar practitioner, we can do things that would include fire and water to celebrate the summer solstice and Litha. Um, what I would do is maybe we could practice that right now together. I will provide the props, and then it would be something that you could adopt whenever you're practicing for summer solstice. What I have with me is I have a bowl of water. And then I also have a candle, which I can light. And what we can do is a very simple, by lighting the candle, holding a bowl of water in our hands, we can do things like, and if you would just like to imagine that you're holding a bowl of water, I hold the one for the whole group. What we can do is we can whisper into the water what we would like to release, what it is that no longer serves us. We can let it go, and the water will take care of it. And then what we can do is we can look into the flame and we call into the flame, what is it that we want to bring in to our life and into this period of summer solstice? And what that does is it gives us an embodied practice. It activates our reticular activating system, gives us focus and attention on our intention. It creates a vision so that we've got a very, we hear ourselves, we see ourselves, we are doing a practical exercise where we're touching things. And what this does is it filters the information and helps make things a priority. It gives you reinforcement and motivation, and it helps with our belief systems, that it will help you allow and actually manifest what it is that you're wanting to let go of and bring in. Isn't that interesting and cool? This is when it would be good to have your paper and pencil and pen. And if you could maybe take just a minute or maybe two to be able to put down a couple of things. For example, what was the fire asking to be lit in your life? And also, what was the water asking to flow again? What water wants to flow again? And what I'll do is I'm just going to set the timer for 2 minutes. And if you could just close your eyes and think about that and put that down on paper, that would be so wonderful. If anybody feels like sharing their ideas in the chat, it might offer inspiration for people. It's a lot of fun to be able to to see what are the kind of things that people are wanting to let go of and to bring in to their life, because it's, for some of us, we're maybe new at this practice and it offers some inspiration and some ideas. That's wonderful. So nice. Yeah. So now is a time where I will dismantle our temple as a closing circle, an invocation to, again, the cardinal directions. And this time we'll go in counterclockwise movement. In the olden times, we would talk about that being Windershins. And we will start from our center and unfurl the other way. We begin in the center. Sorry. Where the great mystery dwells, to the spark of the divine within each heart. We thank you for guiding us through the truth, the beauty, and the remembrance. May we carry your light into our days. We honor you and we release you. We look down to Mother Earth and to the bones of the land, the roots and the stones, to the sacred territories that we inhabit. We thank you. May the seeds of this circle be rooted in the soil of our lives. We release you with gratitude and care. To Toth and Matt, the starlit guides, the lords and wisdom and balance, to the Lord and the Lady of the realms of light. We thank you for your signs, your symbols, and your subtle presence. We release you now with reverence. Hail to the powers of the north, to the watchers. We call on the Lord and the Lady of the north, Odin and Frigga. To all the wise ones who whispered truth into our bones, we thank you. Walk with us in our dreams and our memories. But we now release your active presence in the circle. Hail to the powers of the west, to the Lord and the Lady of the west, to Tyr and Sisa, to the goddesses of compassion, and to Anubis, who holds the gates of transformation. Thank you for the depth, the feeling, and the flow. We release you now, and we return to the waters, to stillness. Hail to the powers of the south, to the Lord and the Lady of the south, to Freya and Otter. To the feline ones, you who lit our spirits with fire, who awaken passion, healing, and creative force, we thank you. The fire is banked now, but will glow within. We release you with joy. And now to the powers of the east, to the Lord and the Lady of the east, to Tor and Sif, to the eagle and the hawk, to the breath of inspiration and the clarity of vision, to the goddesses of the winged ones. And thank you for helping us remember what is possible. We release you and we breathe you back into the sky. And so it is. As you carry the warmth of the gathering back into your life, you might be wondering, well, how do I bring the sacred energy into my everyday world? I've got you. I've created a simple little shopping list to help you create your own DIY summer solstice Litha celebration at home. Whether you're lighting a single candle, journaling in your garden, or hosting a small ritual with friends, this is your way to mark the turning of the sun. You don't need to do it perfectly, just with presence. So as a quick review, we could do things like, for example, herbs and nature offerings. Lavender, rosemary are wonderful contributions. Fresh flowers, sunflowers, daisies, wild blossoms. A ritual item like a yellow or gold candle. Personally, I love beeswax candles. They have just, there's something undescribable about their smell. Other ritual elements could include incense, frankincense, cedar, citrus, all really beautiful aromas for this time of the year. You can use a fire-safe dish or a outside bowl for releasing your wishes. And then an altar object like a small bowl of water, like what we used earlier. The sun-loving crystals, whether you want to use the ones that are green or if you prefer to have more sun-loving crystals, citrine, carnelian sunstones are really beautiful. And then the summer fruits, berries, cherries, lemons. And then, of course, creative tools, because inside all of us, especially women, we have intuition. And it's really lovely if we can bring creative tools to this process as well. Having a journal and a pen, strips of paper, which you can write your intentions on, and then you can float a candle or small paper boats over water if you happen to have a creek or even a water fountain, anything that would allow that combination of fire and water together. And then there's libations, the nourishment of the soul. So this is where you can bring in all your creativity if you're a cook or love hosting. Lemon balm and herbal teas are wonderful. Seasonal drinks that have sparkling citrus, rose water are lovely. Uh, Strawberries and cream, strawberries and biscuits, anything like that would be so incredible. And I think it's important for us to all know that we already carry in the sacred inside us. These are just tools to help you remember. They're like allies. Are you ready to go deeper? If today sparks something within you, I invite you to join a full Summer Sister Circle. It's where the work gets deeper, it blossoms, and it really gets real. We're going to be offering a special 5-week Summer Sister Circle that will be for the Tuesdays of July. There's 5 of them. And so that would bring us all through the summer solstice and Litha period, all the way till we get to the next Sabbath. What's important is for us to trust our timing. So it's like, I trust my timing, I know my knowing, and I choose to unfurl. That would be an amazing mantra to be able to just be in touch with your ebbs and flows. And to say yes to the woman you're becoming. If you're not in maiden mode, if you have even moved into mother, or maybe you're transitioning from mother into grandmother mode in terms of the life journey of all women. It's beautiful. And so today wasn't just a webinar, it was about remembering. And you're powerful, you're worthy of joy, and you're not meant to walk alone. So here's how I could support you next. First, there's a number of gifts that I talked about at the beginning of the webinar. If you can download your summer solstice ritual toolkit, and you can also have another download that we'll be sending out right after we're finished the webinar, which is it's a Wheel of the Year guide. So there's the summer solstice and Lithith, and then there's 7 other Sabbats in a year that, if you'd be curious, you could take a peek at that and see how you could incorporate them into your life. And then we can also, another gift is to be able to book a free 30-minute private tarot reading with me. This will help gain clarity and insights, and I don't know, see what's blossoming next in your life. And then there is gift number 3. And gift number 3 is a sisterhood gift. And if you're interested in joining the 5-week Summer Sister Circle, I have a special rate. And so for today, it's time sensitive, but for today, it would be offered at $49. At midnight in Eastern Standard Time, that would end. We have another rate that will be for tomorrow, and at tomorrow, the rate would be at 149, which is still a fantastic offering. And then after Thursday, on Thursday, it'll start going at its regular rate, which is at 249. And in that is all the 5 weeks of rituals and celebration and just having fun with all kinds of activities that go on at this time of the year. So trust your pace, honor your knowing, and let's unfurl together.
Beautiful, Marlene. My goodness, I learned so much in that hour. This is my first summer solstice celebration. And what I loved most was watching when you did the activity about the fire and the water. So, what you want to light and what you want to release, just watching those comments. Wow, those were powerful.
Well, thank you. And there's so much to offer that it's so hard to squeeze it all in 1 hour, and I can talk fast like the best of them, and it's still really hard to squeeze it all in. So that's why I know that Charla was suggested to me that maybe with so many different tools and tips and tricks that there would be things that we could do over the month of July. And so I thought that was a brilliant idea, and I would love to be able to offer that to all of you.
Yeah, I think we just look for community, right? Like, I think you hit so many points for a lot of us that especially when you showed that slide of how many boxes we could check in terms of, I'll just check one more thing off the list, just never really getting feeling guilty about taking time for ourselves, all of those kind of things. And, I think it's just being intentional around bringing awareness around that and having a safe space to be able to have these conversations and using different tools and techniques to be able to navigate the things that we're going through because some of the ladies have shared in the chat some of the things that they're experiencing and the things that they do want to light in themselves and things that they do want to let go. But I feel like so many women, we often feel like we're alone in the journey and often carrying the weight of the world on our shoulders. And I love that you created this safe container and space for women to be able to share and learn together and to be able to explore what that healing looks like for each of us.
Yes, and I'm looking through the chat because I do find it a challenge to be trying to share as much as I can and keep sometimes the chat goes so fast that it's hard to go to really honor each of the perspectives. And I can see that there's people that are talking about creating their altar, and it's just it's so playful and fun. And when we have so many things going on in our lives that have to get done. It's like it feels like necessity stuff. It just feels very playful. And it's like, I have, these beautiful roses, and tomorrow I'm going to be having a little gathering at my home. And so I'm going to be making a little uh, centerpiece for my dining room table, and I'm going to be using lemons and making a stack of them. And then in between each one of those, I'm going to be putting a little daisy blossom. And to me, that's just so feminine, and it's just so quirky, and it doesn't take all the brain power. I think we're so analytical and we spend so much time thinking, but being heart-centered and just embracing what just comes kind of intuitively is such a relief. Doesn't anybody feel that? Like when we just really do stop, the world doesn't really stop. We think if we stop, everything will fall down. But actually, when we stop, it gets richer. It glows. And sometimes our best ideas are just when we stop and take that deep breath, but not just breath in. It's when we exhale it out. And then it's like, there's an idea.
Yeah, when we get off the hamster wheel once in a while and actually just take time to smell the roses. If I learned anything from tonight, it's just the power of those things, and that, these seasons are beautiful, but they're also just moments to be able to enjoy, that all of a sudden you're in a different season of your life and you think, hmm, where did spring go? It just seemed like it was just spring, not that long. Where did that go? And so if we don't take these moments to really reflect and think and just stop and but enjoy a strawberry and smell those beautiful flowers and light a candle and just sip that cup of tea and all these beautiful things, that's how we really do breathe in, life, and rather than being on that, hamster wheel of craziness that most of us find ourselves on.
And things like, the offerings back to nature when doing like the opening and the closing. I mean, I use cornmeal because when I asked the elders in my area what they used, they talked about corn. But I mean, it can be, really anything that would be honoring. And for some people it's sage, some people it's cacao, sometimes it's planting seeds like peas or beans, like scarlet runner beans are beautiful. So anything when if you can get your hands into the earth, that's a beautiful thing too.
Love it. Love it. So, does anybody have any questions at all for Marlene about what you learned tonight or any practices that you include in your summer solstice or things that you do that you want to share? Any questions you have about the 5 weeks? So, what can ladies expect from these 5 weeks? Is it similar to like tonight where it's going more in depth with all of these practices and how we can celebrate the summer season and make the most out of this time?
I think what the difference is that tonight I was covering some of the answering the, well, what is it? And how to and talking about how it could be done. But I think in these 5 weeks it'll be much more practical because we'll have already built that common understanding about what it is and why we would do it. And so it would be time to actually apply those things. So in the end, I can set up an altar, a different altar each week. And it would be interesting for the ladies to share how are they setting up their altar, and does anybody need tips or tricks? And if anybody wanted to be able to start, if they wanted crystals, I have a great woman who is from East Europe, but she lives in Ottawa and she collects crystals and stones, and she's Canada's most known jeweler, thanks to a fashion designer in Ottawa. And so she does these things. She gives me all of her stones at wholesale rate. And she has said that I can offer that for others. So sometimes if there's somebody who's looking for a particular stone for their altar, I might be able to help with that. And so together we can build it. Um, Tarot is something that I just love doing. And so I think that we can do a group spread. I think that's something that we can do. And it's a little bit more tricky doing it on a webinar or a Zoom call instead of doing it in person, but we can make it work. And there's sing-songs, things that I would be able to bring into the circle. And if weather is good, I will probably bring the Zoom call out into my garden and practice things like doing the fire bowl and burning what needs to be let go and using water of a fountain in order to get water flowing. And so that can be also something, that intention can be extended to all of the people who would be participating in the actual 5 weeks as well. So intentionally, I'd be doing it. However, with each week, I'd be curious how each lady will be bringing those rituals into her uh, day-to-day life and also into her community and her group of circle friends. I just think I would love to see how it could be a contagion and grow. I also would take requests if anybody has a particular interest in a type of practice for summer solstice. Would be very, very honored to be able to work that into the program.
Love it. And I also forgot to share is Marlene has a private Facebook group that, so she had talked about like summer solstice is one of the main themes of the calendar, but there's a whole year of different things. And I had no idea of this, any of these things until I met Marlene. So yeah, so there's different celebrations throughout the year as well. So if you want to learn about those and the different things that she has going on, because Marlene has virtual presence and things because we're definitely a global community, but also she'll be doing some local things in Ottawa as well. And I know we have some Ottawa ladies on the call tonight as well, so you can look forward to that. So that's the link to be able to join her private group also. And if you didn't book your complimentary 30-minute call, I shared the link for that as well, that you can get your own private reading, which I thought that was so generous of Marlene to be able to do for each of us. So exciting.
Wherever I go, my tarot deck goes with me. When I go to weekend away at a cottage for my book club ladies, the tarot deck comes out. People like to see their spreads. Whenever there's a group of ladies, right, it's sure to be one of the things that has to happen. It's like a ritual all on its own.
Yeah, exactly. They're popular, that's for sure. So love it.
And just so
So
people know, I don't do it. It's not fortune telling. That's not my thing. There might be other people that do it this way. It's about activating your own intuition about the cards and bringing meaning, because the 78 cards in a tarot deck are actually, it's a cycle of a life. And so the major arcanas bring that, and then the minor arcanas bring a certain nuance to each of those messages. So it's never the same twice.
wow, we might have to do a webinar just on that.
I love it.
Yes. Well, I shared the information link one more time. And if you didn't catch it, so what she did was the fact that the ladies who took a beautiful Tuesday evening and said, hey, I'm going to jump on the call, that's why you're getting an amazing price. So the tonight's price to be able to join for all 5 weeks. I don't know if you've done the math in terms of 5 weeks of being able to join Marlene is $49. And for those who are getting the recording afterwards, they'll still be able to get a promo code, maybe not as sweet as tonight, but they can still join in. And this is a small circle that Marlene is creating. It's a small group. So, it's about having those powerful conversations and having a safe space to be able to share in and all that good stuff as well. So yeah, we will share that also. And then I'll also send out all your free gifts. So there's a beautiful summer solstice guide that you can use. I'll send out the recording so you can watch this and kind of go through it again, because I know there was a lot of wonderful information here that Marlene shared. And then she included another guide that's just all about the Celtic calendar and those celebrations throughout the year, so you can know what's coming up and to look forward to. And if you join the Facebook group, you can kind of see what's going on next as well, and be a part of Marlene's beautiful community and her amazing energy and her wonderful spirit. I've been blessed to know Marlene now for the last couple months. And yeah, she definitely has a heart to serve and to be able to help other women go through really difficult transitions. And, her sharing her own story tonight and with me over these last 2 months of, navigating caregiving, navigating cancer, navigating stressful career, navigating divorce. These are all things that I think we can all relate to as women going through various challenges in our life and different seasons of our life, and just having a safe space and a community to be able to heal through these things, and using just our own inner wisdom to be able to connect with that divine energy to do that, and how all of these things are so powerful at our fingertips that sometimes we just take nature for granted, and just how powerful that can be in the healing journey. I love what you do, Marlene.
Well, thank you, Charlotte. I love what you do as well. I mean, eh, look at the network that you've been able to build. You've got the largest women's network in the world with one woman. I mean, what a testament to all of us of what is possible with girl power.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just a space for everyone to shine and share their gifts and knowledge and wisdom, and because women, boy, we're the wisdom keepers. There's no doubt about that. And so I love having nights like this because, like I said, I sat with all of you and learned so many wonderful things that I'm going to look at summer a whole lot differently. And I'm definitely going to be thinking about the light that I want to light, the fire I want to light within, and what needs to just flow and release this summer season. So that was definitely one of my big takeaways from this evening for sure.
Can I share with the ladies on the call a little story that you were sharing with me before we opened up the call tonight?
Sure.
This is improv. This isn't planned at all, but Charlotte was sharing with me that she woke up to water dripping from her ceiling. So, based on what I was sharing with you earlier, guess what? That is a message from the universe that she's got. It's like emotion that needs to flow. I mean, yes, physically, she was getting rain on her head while she's trying to sleep. Nobody wants that. When we look at it from a energy perspective, it's that, well, water is feeling, it's emotion, and it's a feminine energy. So there's something that has been kind of clogged or stuck, and it wants to go. It wants to move, and it will take whatever's the path of least resistance. So there you go.
Love it, love it. Well, that was the thing was, boy, oh boy, it made me move all right at 5 o'clock morning when I heard drip, 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 and then I could feel it. And I'm like, why is there water in my bed? Like, where is this coming from? And it poured rain here. And then on top of it, so I'm in the process of moving into a new condo. And it's like, oh, I get it, universe. Like, I'm getting out. Like, you don't need to rain on my head to make me move. Like, I'm moving. So yeah, I got the message loud and clear, but I'll definitely be looking into that in terms of a deeper meaning and hopefully not waking up tomorrow with more rain on my head for sure.
Oh, well, thank you, everybody. And I wish you a great rest of your day, wherever you're calling in from. And let me just, on case somebody hasn't said this to you already today, let me be the first to say, you are loving, lovable, and loved. And you are the light. You have it inside of you. And it's about activating it and reactivating it. And sometimes we just need a help. I see somebody's hand is up. It, is it
It's
It's
Emma.
Emma.
I,
It's
Emma?
Emma. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a long story. I just had a quick kind of silly question. When we're doing the candle ritual, do you ask for one thing at a time, or can you ask for everything you need and then just see what actually comes to you?
Oh, you can actually, it's a great question. So you can have like sometimes what I do when I'm doing this, I will do it with a group and I'll give little sticky papers and I'll set the timer for 10 minutes. And in 10 minutes, I have a big pot, sometimes like a soup pot that I put in the middle of the table, or if it's outside, it's a fire pit. And everybody gets a Sharpie, a pen, and and as you write what you want to release, and then you put it into the bowl or you put it into the fire and you just keep going and just get it all out. Yeah, it's like a cleansing. Get rid of all the gunk.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Any other final questions before we wrap up, ladies? All right. Well, I want to wish everyone a wonderful summer. I want to thank Marlene again. And if you sign up, I'm sure Marlene will send you all the details, the Zoom links for the Tuesday evenings. So, I'm guessing is it start next Tuesday or the first Tuesday in which?
The first Tuesday of July.
Okay.
And so in Canada, that's Canada Day, but it'll be in the evening. And it would be a great way to start off the season.
Fantastic. So if
And
you
if there's
sign
any
up,
questions,
yeah.
people can shoot me off a note in my website at the Heroines Mystery School solstice.com. Any questions, just fire them off.
You bet. And I will just share the main website because Marlene got a beautiful, shiny new website that I haven't even looked through yet. So I'm excited to check it out. So you can just hit the contact button. And it also brings you to her calendar as well, too, that if you didn't get a chance to book your reading, you can book that through her website as well and check out some of the other things that she has coming up and stuff. So yes, well, thank you, ladies. And like I said, if you signed up, watch for your email, and then I will send out tonight, like I said, those complimentary beautiful guides that Marlene created at the recording from tonight, and all the information that you can stay in touch with Marlene. So I wish everybody a wonderful evening, and I wish you a spectacular summer. Good night, everyone.
Everybody.
Bye-bye.